Mario Kart World. Get to the price. But before we do that, let's just talk about it. What do you think of this open world concept in general? And like, what are some of your favorite things you've noticed since playing it in your hands instead of like, you know, owning it instead of playing it in New York?
I do love the open world concept. I think there's a lot to do especially if you're the type of person who explores in video games. You don't try and run through it. You look for all the secrets. You look for, secret areas. You want to get all the P switches, right? All the question blocks. You want to find areas that nobody else has. I think for that person, which again, that's me, there's so much to love here. I'm a huge fan of video game music. I always have been.
Oh yeah.
And this is just this is peak, man. Like if they come out, they probably
good.
won't.
It is very
They came
good.
out with a CD,
It'll be on Nintendo Music. It'll be on the Nintendo Music app soon.
I would buy it, right?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
If they came out with an album, I'd totally buy that.
Yeah.
But man, the soundtrack is just absolutely phenomenal. Knockout Tour again. Absolutely love it.
That's my favorite.
It's a game changer. When I played it at the experience, that was my immediate takeaway. I even said it in my video, like when I was there, that this is a game changer. This is what's going to change the game for everybody. I'm confident in that. And so, yeah, sure enough, that's happened. I think everyone's probably on the same page there with the Knockout Tour. One thing I did is with, Michaela, she was out of town. She brought the Switch 2 with her, docked with the camera. And I used my camera. And we played Mario Kart. Michaela, her dad, and we played for hours. But it was so much fun to just have like the camera and to be able to see her while she's out of town and see her dad. And for me to be at home and, shit talking each other the whole time on game chat. I'm like, this is great. Now, obviously, there's been ways to do this before, but it's the simplified aspect of it, right? I don't need to see your gameplay. That's not what I'm going for here, right? You don't need to screen share. We're playing the same game. What I think is cool is just being able to see the other person, to have your face right over the cart.
Yeah.
Yes.
And really just to shit talk each other while you're playing. Like that is very fun. That is classic Mario Kart, right?
Mm-hmm. On the couch. Yeah. Talking shit to your brother or your sister. Yeah, whatever. Yes.
So for me, that was a great time. But I guess to circle back, as far as like the open world concept, what I think is going to happen, and I think it's just a matter of time, just only a matter of when, not if. Yeah, I think this is going to be an open worlds concept. I don't think this is the only world. I think there will be more. This is an evergreen title. Been saying it for a long time that I think Mario Kart is going to be the driver. Yeah, I think 100%.
He says the same thing. He's like, there's going to be more. There's going to be more. I'm like, yes, that's okay.
Yeah, this is my mindset. Like, you look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and you look at the DLC we got and the IP that it introduced.
Yeah.
Now, we look at Switch 2. It's the pack-in title. 70% of Switch 2s that were produced were bundles. The other 30 was non-bundle. To me, Nintendo wants to use Mario Kart World as not only the evergreen title, but the driver to advertise their other IP. So when a new game comes out, right? Like when we get Zelda, probably next year, I could see Mario Kart World getting a Zelda Cup. When X game releases down the road, just fill in the blank of Nintendo IP.
Splatoon
Once again,
4.
Yeah, it's going to get a cup now. I wouldn't say it's going to turn into like Smash Brothers Kart, because I think the IP is going to stay in-house. I don't think it's really going to branch out to third parties. At the most, maybe Bandai Namco, because of the connections that there is with Bandai Namco. But as far as Nintendo, I think this is how Nintendo is going to advertise new games coming out, new IP. Anytime a new game comes out, and say, for instance, Donkey Kong, like tomorrow, I would not be surprised at all if we get a Donkey Kong Cup. I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the 30-day.
And of course, Diddy
promotion.
Kong, right? New character.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've told
course.
Joey Pitts that as well in the chat before on our podcast, that this is what I expect. This is how Nintendo advertises. And look, 70% again. If you look at the numbers for obviously Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, what are we at? 65 about million on Nintendo
Yep,
Switch. That's how many
about
people
right,
want it.
yep.
You're advertising to 65 million people directly. That beats a Nintendo Direct. That beats a commercial. Commercials cost a lot of money. A lot of people don't watch that much TV, or they're watching stuff on Netflix or somewhere else where all you're seeing is, ads for prescriptions. There's no video game ads, right? So this is how you penetrate the market, in my opinion, and you grow your other IP. I think that's what's going to happen. And it's going to be Mario Kart Worlds. Yeah, I'm excited for it. And I think that's how the $80 is justified. But again, justifying it right now, we're only about 2 weeks. 2 weeks in. Yeah. I think the game we have today is going to look drastically different by the end, in the same way Mario Kart 8 was drastically different by the time it ended on Switch.
Yeah, I think that is, I think you're right about that. I am for $80. I just think that a large portion of whatever it is they put in should be free. Like, I understand if later down the road, if they want to do like they did and like double up the game with whatever, like something huge like they did with the DLC
like the
they did at the end for 8. Yeah. Like that's okay. Because they also put a bunch of stuff. Well, the game didn't cost $80 either. But at this point now, I am going to be upset if we start seeing DLC that costs money anytime soon. Like down the road, years from now, okay.
Sure.
But there better be a hefty amount of free content coming to this. That's my opinion on the whole $80 thing. At this point, I think I like your idea a lot. I love that. I see what they're doing with this and how maybe they could justify like that this is why it's $80. I see it now. I do see it now. I don't really like the fact that it's $80, but at least I can see it. Like you said.
Yeah.
I started finally going out and playing like the single player stuff, like just creeping around, trying to find piece switches, seeing what I can find. Like, even if you're somebody who's like, no, $80 is too much. Like, you start roaming around, you're like, damn, like I wanted to unlock Rainbow Road. So I needed to do all the cups. So I did that. And then I wanted to make sure I got all the carts at least. And then the rest of the stuff can come as we go here. But I did all that. And then the other day I really started like messing around. I was telling Jeeb, like really going around the world. I was like, dude, there's a lot here. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, there's nothing here, nothing there. Like, you're not looking. Like, you're not looking close. If you don't find something to do, and it's not like there's piece switches. Oh, there's one here in this land, and there's another one. You got to go 10 miles. Like, they're everywhere. They're literally everywhere, and they're hard.
Like
some of them are like actually hard. The first ones I did, I was like, okay, these are like way too easy. But then I stumbled across a couple where it's like, okay, you got to grind on this rail, jump over to this rail, jump back to this rail, ride this wall, jump back to this rail, go over here, and make sure you're on this rail to get into the last. Like, it took me a lot of practice to like do all that and actually get that one done. And then there's even the nuanced stuff of like in some of these things when you're trying to do that stuff, like if you're like, okay, it's timed, but you also have to do this and do that and do this and do that. Like if you go change your character and your cart and do different combinations, some of them do those things better than others. The heavier characters are not good for things where you have to jump and land and like you get a lighter character with more acceleration. It changes everything. Like it's deep. This game is deep. Like you have to go in and give it some time and look. But I mean, this is deep. I'm not going to say it's on the level of like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom's like physics engine, but like it's got that kind of DNA. You know what I mean? Like there's nuances underneath the surface that they don't tell you, but like it's there. I don't know. I am very much enjoying this game. I really, really like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I mean, Mario Kart for everybody's just like Mario Kart, but
Yeah.
like I'm into this. I really like it.
So the big question, is it worth $80? I think you kind of already answered it, Drip, but you know.
Yeah, okay. Now I do for me, I think it is worth $80. But again, like I said, I am expecting lots of free content
Yes.
to be put into this game.
I think it's a requirement.
If it comes in the way of marketing for other games and adding cups like that, I am so down with that. I love that idea. If that's what it is, then like yes, $80, especially once we get to where that is. That's the one thing. And then I'll put it over to one of you guys. That's the one thing that really bothers me about what Nintendo does with some of these games, though. It's the sports thing, where you get like Mario Golf at launch, which is like, okay, yeah, okay. But then, 6-7 months later, once they've dropped all the free DLC that should have been in the game originally, you've got a whole game. And it's like, yeah, that's a $60 game. It's good. It's perfect. But like they hold it back in this weird way where it's like, it's DLC. And we're like, no, it's not. It's just the rest of the game. I feel like they're kind of doing that with this game. Not as bad, but I do feel like that's kind of happening here.
Yeah. Steve?
Yeah. P switches. So I looked it up. There's 394.
Oh my God.
Which is an insane amount.
I don't think I'm ever going to beat this game entirely. Then that's holy crap.
So
300. There's almost
that's
400.
That's Korok level of insane. Like
it
jeez.
Is. I'll say like Michaela and I were, playing on camera, and we're just driving around, right? Free roam, looking for, the peach coins, peach medallions, P switches. And she'd be like, oh, there's one over here. And then I'd see where it is. She'd show her screen. I'd be like, okay. And I'd show her. Just doing stuff like that, I think is very valuable. Like I enjoyed my time just doing that. The things I look at too with Mario Kart World, like you guys remember when the title of the new Mario movie got leaked?
Yeah.
Super Mario World. I do think there's a connection there as well. Something that's bigger that we're going to find out about shortly here. I think that's why the titles are so similar. But again, I would not be surprised if we get a cup based on the movie as well. Same goes for the Zelda movie when that comes out. Again, there's going to be so much cross promotion and cross pollinating, and I don't think this is wishful thinking. I really do not. This makes perfect business sense. And
I agree.
Nintendo,
I do too.
Nintendo's
It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for the entire outlook. I think we're going to get more battle modes because again, that happened with Mario Kart 8. If you look at Mario Kart 8 on Wii U versus what we ended up getting on Switch, they add it to the battle modes. Yeah. So I expect the whole game to grow with us as the generation goes on. This is going to be a true evergreen title. So for me, there's a lot to be excited about. As far as is it worth $80? Like anything, and some people agree with this, some don't, and that's okay because this is how I manage money, right? If I play it for 1,000 hours, which over the course of 6, 7, 8 years, no problem whatsoever. That's 8 cents an hour for my entertainment.
Yep.
Pretty good deal.
You can't, it's phenomenal. So, yeah, I know everyone's so concerned with how people want to spend their money suddenly because a game is $10 more than what we're used to. I'm like, look, nobody likes it when the prices go up. Nobody does. Yeah. But this is part of life. Price goes up on everything. My homeowner's insurance costs more money. The car insurance has went up. The electric bill goes up. Everything goes up. This is part of life. But like, look, if you can tell me I can pay 8 cents an hour, all I have to do is pay $80, and in exchange, you're going to give me entertainment for 8 cents an hour. Dude, I'm all in. That's a no-brainer. right?
Yep.
Now there's other games we play that we pay how much for? $60, $70. I mean, the standard for AAA games pretty much $70, and you might play it for 20 hours,
Right.
25, 30. So when it comes to value, entertainment value, the cost of it, you compare it to other entertainment like going to the movies, where you get an hour and a half, 2 hours, and the movie might be crap because Hollywood doesn't put out a ton of great movies anymore. You look at that and it's like, dude, when you compare the two, this is just so easy. I think we got it good.
Yeah, I wish more people had that mindset with gaming, because it would make things a lot less controversial and divisive, especially in this particular topic with the price of things. Because we all have times out there where we struggle and financially, and yeah, just to sit here and be like, yeah, I struggle, but I think it's worth $80 is pretty silly, right? From that person's perspective, like, why would you even say that? You're struggling right now, and I am. But like $80 is absolutely worth it. Because with that, you lined it up perfectly. I'll just kind of try to do my best to say it worse. It's really about delight to dollar ratio, and also like hours played. I would have paid $100 for Breath of the Wild. I think $150 would have been fair. I did in fact pay $200 to play Tears of the Kingdom. I bought the collector's edition and I bought it digitally just on top of that. Over $200. Worth every penny because of the amount of hours that I put into it. It makes it worth it because like you said, like people had no problem going to the movies and paying $20 a ticket for 2 hours, and you do that over and over and over, But, okay,
Yeah.
well
Yes,
that's
Andrew in the chat is asking who goes to the movies anymore. Me.
Drip,
a lot.
people do still do that.
A lot.
Yeah, it's not just.
Yeah,
I know it's
Dude,
less than used to.
I'm going to the movies tomorrow. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. I went Thursday. I go to the movies like once a week. I see like everything.
A theme park.
Yeah.
You go to a theme park and you spend $70 on yourself. You got kids. Good Lord, adds up quick. And you're only there for 2 or 3 hours. If you really made a day out of it, you're there for 5 or 6.
Yeah. And then how much time are you actually on the ride versus standing in a line?
Exactly. I mean, it's not just the movies. It's just think of any form of entertainment.
Anything.
Your subscription services, like any of them that you pay for. Just think about how many hours you actually using that per week, especially if you've got multiple of them. Like,
Yeah.
Gaming,
That's a good way to think about it.
Gaming
That's
is
a good way to think about it.
affordable. It can be expensive if you buy everything. And yes, content creators typically buy a lot of things, and it makes it seem like everybody's out here buying everything. I mean, again, no offense to other sites, but look behind you. Okay? I mean, It looks like everybody's like you, but that's not what it is. Not everybody is buying everything. Buy what you want to buy. Buy what makes sense, and you're going to get your money out of it. And that's why you watch reviews to figure out what the best product is. See, that's why I'm telling you to buy this controller. Because you buy this Pro controller, you don't got to waste money on anything else. This is the controller. Good God, just buy this one.
It is.
This
Man,
channel
it is.
sponsor
It
is
really
Skull
is.
& Co. with the Neo grip. I already did buy a Satisfy grip. Everyone knows that. I'm not like a homer for anything. I do like this grip. This is you buy this grip, you don't need any other grip. You don't need to. You could buy more grips, but you don't need to. I mean, I'm getting off topic, but you understand my premise here is that
You don't have to buy everything is the point.
you don't have to buy everything, and also the things that you do buy, just make sure that it's a good value for you, that it makes sense for you. It's subjective. It's not a cut and dry answer. Is it worth $80? It is a subjective thing. If you're only going to play it once in a while, maybe don't buy Mario Kart World. It's not going to be worth it, especially with an increase in price from previous generations. But if you're going to play the crap out of it, and most people who are buying it are going to, it's absolutely worth it. And yes, take it, and plus 70%, like you said, I heard 80%, that was a little bit older a few days ago. Who knows what the number is now? Majority, and seems like the large majority of people who bought a Switch 2 bought with the bundle. So you only paid
$80.
You only paid $50.
I didn't even pay $80 for it. I mean, but
70%.
some people are. My whole thing is I want them to not. I don't want them to be like, yeah, it was $80, but we got this other stuff and we're going to put it in, but that is also $20. And then this next thing, that's like, I just don't want that. Like, we're getting excessive.
You don't want to be nickel
point.
and dimed.
Right. We're getting excessive. They've already got it right up front. The $80, cool, whatever. Just put the content in as we go, and I'm cool with it. I mean, right now, 2 weeks ago, I said, no, it's not worth $80. I think it's too much. especially well, and that was playing what, an hour of it maybe in New York. So I didn't get the full scope of what was in there. Playing it now, yes, $80. That's fine. Just make sure the content you're about to put in there doesn't cost $20 more. Then I'm gonna be bitching.
Yeah, if Nintendo wants to sell us 48 new tracks again for $25, I'll give it to them right now. That was an absolute steal.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That is a whole different thing. They literally doubled the game for for whatever it was, like $20. Yeah, that's cool. I'm good with that. But like, characters, a cup, no, like don't just put it in there. Just put it in there.
You know, I will say one thing that, again, I totally believe we're gonna get more worlds. But one thing we got to factor in with that is with new worlds comes new P switches, new question blocks.
That's
possibly,
true.
Possibly new music. You know, like if there's a Donkey Kong Cup, we might get a bunch of music from Donkey Kong Country. A Zelda Cup, suddenly we have Hyrule Field playing while you're playing Mario Kart. You know, like there's
and depending on how big these are, I mean, what,
I expect
50 other P switches? Like, who knows?
Yeah, and I'll say this too. We have a cow in the game, right? We have all these different characters.
Yeah.
I fully expect, I've said this a few times, but I fully expect that when we get a Zelda Cup, Epona is going to be
hell yeah
a character.
Yes.
Epona, the horse from it's not Epona in Echoes of Wisdom, right? There's a different horse. I don't know. Is it a
different horse?
But yeah, like we could get that too. Like think about the possibilities of them which by the way, I agree with you. I expect them to one way or another to add Zelda back into the game because it was in the previous game. Animal Crossing.
Can we get a Bokoblin?
Yeah, dude. Like I expect this, and I expect it.
Oh my god, Lionel!
I expect it to be free. Okay, I don't think they need to be doubling the courses in this game for a while. Add cups, add worlds, if you will, but of Zelda, Animal Crossing, Donkey Kong, you name it, including the characters that are missing. Diddy Kong from Donkey Kong, or a Korok. I want to drive as a Korok in Mario Kart.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Make it happen.
Tingle.
Yes.
Which would be hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, I expect it. It's worth $80 with a big caveat. I expect free content to be added.
I do. I'm expecting that. I'm going to be disappointed if
it's not free. We freaking paid for it, dudes. We paid for it, and I think
it'll be a combination. I do. I don't. It's not all going to be free, but I think at the end of the day, when we get to the end of the road, we're all going to be like, yeah, this was worth it.